the last stream, we were working on upgrading our storage drawer system. So we now have a full wall of glass storage drawers with our framed drawer controller now painted to look like the rest of the blue terracotta that is accenting our base. Between streams, I have gone ahead and added 3 more framed drawers here for copper, tin, and nickel chunks. The reason for that is that earlier today when I came back on to the server, all 3 of these factories here were backed up with nickel, tin, and copper chunks, as they are right now. The reason for that, of course, is that previously we didn't have a drawer for these 3, and even now that I've made 3 new drawers, currently these drawers are not connected up to the drawer controller, and so right now those items have nowhere to go, so they just get backed up inside of the factory. And so one of the first things that I would like to get done in today's stream is I would like to try and connect up these 3 drawers here to the main drawer network with this drawer controller. Now, to do that, we're going to have to make some trim. Thankfully, you can make framed trim, just like you can make framed drawers and framed drawer controllers, and we can, of course, texture these however we like to make them fit with the theme of the base. So let's quickly go ahead and grab some wood. I might as well grab it from our botany pot over here because we've got a ton of it. And you'll notice now that instead of having 2 of these drawer sections dedicated to leaves, we now have 2 dedicated to wood. That's just because between streams, I've been taking the leaves out and using them to make yet more overworld matter. We do have quite a bit of that now ready to sift over in the smeltery room. But one thing I would like to do is I'd like to get apples into this top right-hand drawer because we do have some fish here. And just before the stream started, I did put some more fish in to cook, but we are slowly but surely running out of food. And so I would very much so like it if we could start getting apples over here. We should get apples. I think I showed this before, but if we press U on the Dark Oak sapling, you'll see that you do have a 10% chance to get an apple when the Dark Oak sapling grows in the botany pot here. But unfortunately, if the botany pot has nowhere to send the item, it will just delete it. So because there was no free slot here, all of our apples that are being generated are just being deleted. So hopefully, if we take those Dark Oak logs out, it's possible there's a 1 in 10 chance that we'll get an apple here. Unfortunately, didn't get one. I think what I am going to do real quick, chat, is I'm going to make a chest. I'm going to put that chest down right about here, and I'm going to take out like a stack of each of these. What that should do is hopefully that should give the botany pot time to generate an apple, which should then fill up that slot there. That slot shouldn't fill up with anything that isn't an apple until all of these fill up again. So hopefully when we come back a little later on in today's stream, there'll be an apple in there and we can lock it. Anyway, back over here, that was a lot of talk about apples. Let's get some sticks and then let's make some framed trim. Now, there's a few ways that we could go about doing this. I don't think putting a piece of trim here will connect these 2 drawers. I'm pretty sure that to connect drawers up using trim, the trim has to touch one of the faces. I don't think it works via the corners. So we could do this one of 2 ways. We could put a trim block to the right of this copper, so outside there, and then another one to the right of this, and then maybe replace this block here. That would work, but I think it would look pretty janky because I'm fairly certain that the trim would not connect with the rest of the glass textures, much like these don't connect. And so I think in the interest of trying to make this look somewhat decent and make it look like it's not there mostly, I think what we should probably do is grab a little bit of glass and also grab some smooth stone here. And even though it's going to use more trim, I think if we take, let's say, 2 glass trim and then 3 smooth stone trim, what we should be able to do is replace, let's say, these 3 blocks here with trim, and then replace both of these bits of glass here and here with glass trim. So if we do this and this, you'll see those don't connect, which doesn't look great, but because we're going to cover it up with more trim, and with the smooth stone, it doesn't matter if it connects because the texture already doesn't connect. Now these should be connected, and we can test it because we have 3 stacks in our inventory. If I double right click on here, those chunks are taken out and deposited directly into the frame drawers. Nice. And we should start to see, I think, fairly quickly, a bunch of other chunks making their way out of this chest over here. or we would if this chest wasn't already full to the brim with dust and niter. For now, we can kind of manually get rid of this dust by just crafting it up into dust, and I think for now what we can probably do is just throw that into the hopper above the clay drawer. So just put like a stack up there. That's going to get us an extra stack of clay blocks. That is definitely something we should look to automate, I think, sooner rather than later, because we are going to, because otherwise we're just going to have to keep manually crafting that dust and it's going to keep backing up the system. But we have bigger things to work on for now. One of those bigger things that I probably should have done a little while ago is an overflow trash can. So a trash can, as the name might suggest, is a block that will just delete any item that you put into it or that you pipe into it. Now, the trash can, thankfully, fairly easy to make. It is one regular chest with 3 stone and 5 cobblestone. Do we have regular stone? We do, and we definitely have 5 cobblestone. Beautiful. If we go ahead and craft that up, by default, you can put this down, and then if you want to get rid of something, let's say I wanted to get rid of 1 dark oak plank, I can put it in there, and it's just deleted from the game, gone completely. Now, what I think we should do here is I think we should take this, and I think we should put it at the end of this line. The reason for that is twofold. One, it's going to stop items spewing out on the ground. We don't have any just yet, but you've probably seen in previous streams, items like sand, cobblestone, and smoothstone just kind of spewing all around this area because the block breaker itself is full and the storage drawer downstairs is also full, but the block breaker keeps breaking. So one benefit we're going to get from this trash can is it's going to delete those excess items and stop them spewing out over on the floor. The second, and maybe the more important benefit for us, is that it's going to allow us to get more red sand. Because right now, we are making a lot more regular sand than we are red sand. And so it's not uncommon for us to see the regular sand drawer back up with sand. When that happens, of course, up here, the block breaker also starts to back up with regular sand, and that stops us generating more red sand, and therefore stops us getting things like copper. And so if we can just delete that excess regular sand, that's going to allow all of the red sand that right now we're not producing, or right now is spewing over the floor, to instead make its way into the frame drawer, then around to be sifted into copper dust for us to then use. So essentially, all I'm thinking is if we grab some of our basic logistical transporters, what we can probably do is jump over the edge here and then just put this down a few blocks away from the draw controller. So with these pipes, the pipes will always try and send items. Oh my goodness, hello my friend. Did not see you there. They will always try to send items to the nearest inventory first. So they should always try to send the item to the draw controller. And then if they can't send the item to the draw controller, that's when they should try and send the item through to the trash can. So let's put this down here. And then from there, I think what we'll also do is we'll color this black as well, because I think otherwise it might not work. Black, of course, being the color, there we go, that we send items to the draw controller, right? So anything that is sent to the draw controller is sent to the black pipe. If it can't get into the draw controller because its storage drawer is full, it should now go down directly into the trash can, like a lot of this smoothstone here, right? We've got way too much smoothstone, so we're gonna die. That's not good. Let me try and get away real quick. That was a close call, but yeah, no, the point being, excess items are being deleted, which is perfect. So, now that that is taken care of, what are we going to work on in today's stream? Well, I'm glad you asked. My plan for today is hopefully going to be to get the diamond mesh here for our sieve. The reason for that is that once we have a diamond mesh, we can begin sifting crushed netherrack. The reason why we want to sift crushed netherrack is that it gives us nether quartz and glowstone, and once we have nether quartz and glowstone, we can finally begin working towards a refined storage system. And for those who don't know, refined storage is just a digital storage mod, which is going to make it significantly easier for us to craft with all of the items that we already have, and it's also going to make it easier for us to request and deposit all the items that we currently have as well. No longer will we have to sift through multiple chests trying to find the one item that we need. No longer will we have to grab the exact amount of redstone and the exact amount of iron that we need to make any given recipe. We'll just be able to do it quickly and easily from within inside of a refined storage crafting grid. But to get there, we have to be able to make these machine casings. these are made with quartz-enriched iron, and as you can probably guess from the name, these are made in the induction smelter with nether quartz and iron. Now, before we start working towards getting that diamond mesh, which is made in the induction smelter with a redstone flux coil, 16 redstone flux coils, an iron mesh, and a redstone servo. The redstone servo is where the diamonds come in, by the way. But before we start working on that, to make crushed netherrack, we of course have to hammer down regular netherrack. Regular netherrack, thankfully, can be made using a quote-unquote cobblestone generator, similar to what we have up on the surface, making us sand, smooth stone, and cobblestone. This time, though, we have to combine lava with blue ice over soul soil. So soul soil is made in a wooden barrel with witch water. Witch water is made in a barrel with lava above obsidian. So much like over here, we have seawater being generated, right? Over here we have overworld matter. Above that we have a barrel. The water goes in the barrel, and because that barrel is above overworld matter, the barrel turns the water into seawater. We can do that same thing with lava, but turn it into witch water if it's above obsidian. Hopefully that makes sense. Once we have the soul soil, the next thing that we need to get is the blue ice, and a blue ice we can make by crafting 9 packed ice. Packed ice we can make by crafting 9 regular ice, and regular ice we can make by using the blast chiller. So 1 bucket of water equals 1 packed ice. So I think what we should do right out of the gate here is we should move our blast chiller. It does currently have 900 millibuckets of lava in there, and so I think what I might do, just to give that a bit of a kickstart here, is we'll grab like 1 granite, we'll quickly hammer that granite down into crushed granite, and then if we go and put that into the cauldron, or into the crucible, that should produce 100 millibuckets of lava, and therefore produce 1 more piece of obsidian. But if we take this blast chiller and just place it down over where our prismarine was being made, we should be able to make all of the ice required to make blue ice, I think, fairly quickly. Okay, so now we've got 1 more piece of obsidian. Let's go ahead and pick up the blast chiller, and we should probably move the pitiful generator with it. Although we do have power over here already, so we could maybe just run an energy cable from our wind turbine directly over. Now, the reason I'm going to do it over here is because we have all of those floppers outside already connected up to these wooden barrels. And of course, going forward, we're probably not going to need that much more prismarine, at least not anytime soon. So for now, let's just do something like this. Make sure we put back the torches. And then now we're producing ice. Now, of course, this has kept its configuration. So previously, it was auto-exporting to the storage drawer that was above it. Now it's auto-exporting to the wooden hopper, which is not really what we're after. We need 81 regular ice here if we're going to make 1 blue ice. So I think it's probably worth replacing that hopper real quick. I don't quite think we're going to need a full storage drawer because, we don't need 2,048 items worth of space. But just dropping down a regular old chest here should be more than enough. And then again, for now, we'll just do something like this and drop the pitiful generator beneath it. And we could even do this as well, and then just kind of fill this wooden hopper up with some extra coal or extra wood or whatever fuel we use. I guess we're going to use tiny coal here, but we can use that as an extra kind of buffer to keep the ice going. And there we go. We have ice automatically being made. This is probably one of those situations where chat is going to shout at me and say I should have made a barrel instead of a chest, because you can't open a chest if there is a block above it. However, one of the new features of Minecraft, I don't know if it was a new 1.16 feature or not, but one of the new-ish features of Minecraft is the regular barrel, which you can open without having an item on top of it. So I guess if we just replace that, it should have the same effect in that it should be able to hold all of the ice that we need, but we should also be able to open it without getting rid of the block above it. Nice, cool. And we're already about a third of the way there on the amount of ice that we're going to need today, which is perfect. So while we wait for this to finish up, let's take a look at seeing if we can't get this diamond mesh. So the crafting chain here involves, as I mentioned before, the redstone flux coils. We've made these before. Making more of them shouldn't be too difficult. We just need redstone, iron, copper, all of which we've got, gold to make it into a coil, and then we do that 16 times, and then we're good to go on that front. We already have the iron mesh. That's fine. We can upgrade that, and we can use the one we have because upgrading from iron to diamond only makes it better. There's nothing you can't do with a diamond mesh that you could do with an iron mesh, as far as I'm aware. And then finally, the hardest part is the redstone servo, because this requires 4 redstone alloys, 4 iron ingots, and then 1 diamond gear. The diamond gear being made using 4 diamonds. And I think we are going to have to make that diamond gear in the multi-servo press. So that's where the multi-servo press here comes in. Now, to get the diamonds initially, we need to use the multi-servo press. So there's a custom recipe here that allows us to turn 32 coal into 1 diamond. So if we're going to make 4 diamonds to make a diamond gear, we're going to need 2 stacks of coal. Now, as of right now, I would be surprised if we have 2 stacks of coal. We don't. We have 90. So we are going to have to sift a little bit more overworld matter to make that happen. And speaking of sifting overworld matter, I think it's going to help us tremendously if we invest in a heavy sieve. This guy right here. It's also going to allow us to complete the basic automation questline. The idea behind the heavy sieve is that it can sift compressed blocks. So instead of just sifting overworld matter, we can compress 9 overworld matter into 1 compressed overworld matter and then sift that, effectively allowing us to sift 9 blocks at a time, but without having to make 9 meshes. Because right now, if we wanted to sift 9 blocks at a time with the regular sieve, we'd have to make 9 iron meshes, which means getting 9 flint meshes and using 9 blocks of iron to make those, right? Which is a lot of iron, a lot of sifting, a lot of work that we can avoid by simply making a heavy oak sieve, which is made with 2 logistical sorters, 4 oak logs, the 1 regular sieve we have, and 2 niter dust. So let's quickly grab the 2 niter dust. We should be able to make the logistical sorter here, I think, fairly easily. Right now, we have the Constantan, but we don't have the bronze. And so I think I am going to have to grab a little bit of copper and tin. We'll throw both those in the old smeltery over here. Get that going. As I mentioned before, I have been making more overworld matter between streams. So over here, we've got a bunch of the stuff ready and waiting to be sifted. Let me make sure I turn these off so we don't end up with a little bit of bronze or copper in these basins here. That would be very bad. So we need 8 bronze, which is exactly what we should have in there. We'll just pull that out. We'll also grab 4 oak logs as well. And while we're at it, we might as well check up on our botany pot and see if we got any apples. Not yet, unfortunately. I'll take 4 of these. I guess we're going to make a dark oak sieve here. That is fine. We've still got a long way to go before these fill up again. I'm really hoping we do get the apple there. It is a 1 in 10, so we should get 1 apple approximately every 10 minutes using that auto sieve there. So once all that bronze is done, let's head on back over to our trusty crafting station. From there, we'll make 2 logistical sorters. And with that, we should have, I think, basically everything to make a heavy dark oak sieve outside of the 1 regular sieve, which of course we can collect. Boom, and boom. There we go. We now have a heavy dark oak sieve. And so now, there is a visual glitch here. Again, I don't know, it might be Optifine doing that, but for whatever reason, I can't see the mesh. That should be fine. It shouldn't make a difference to the performance of the mesh if we just quickly grab a little bit of overworld matter and then compress that down into compressed overworld matter. We should now be able to sift, effectively, 9 overworld matter at a time. And not too long later, we've now sifted through all of it, and as you can see, our inventory is full of stuff here. So let's quickly craft this down. Again, you can just press K while hovering over the chunks to craft them down. Over the pieces to craft them into the chunks. And yeah, we can also dump stuff like lapis into their respective drawers. I have already done 1 dump here to make more room in our inventory. So now we have over 2 stacks of coal, which is perfect. So we've got enough coal there to make the diamonds. We've got more redstone, more lapis. And also we now have a ton of iron, gold, silver, aluminum, and lead. So then let's take a look and see if we can't get this multi-servo press, right? So multi-servo press. I'm going to bookmark this. For the most part, the recipe should be pretty similar to the recipes we've seen before. In fact, I think that we should have everything that we need, right, to make another machine frame, because if I'm not mistaken, I did get all of the things required to make quite a few machine frames. So we've got the iron plates, we've got the electrum. Do we have any spare bronze gears? One new thing that has been added in the newest update to the pack, which I'm very happy about, in JAI, if you double click and then type in bronze, for example, it will highlight all of the things that are bronze. So for example, I am blind and didn't notice that I have 2 bronze gears in my inventory. However, now that I've done this, I can see them quite clearly highlighted. We've got bronze ingots, bronze gears, and bronze tools. You can do the same thing with, iron. Now you can see the iron chunks, the iron plates, and the iron pieces. If I typed in prismarine chunks, prismarine shards, and then you just double click again on the search bar in JEI there to get rid of that highlighting. So that is a really nifty little feature that I'm glad has made its way into this pack. Either way, boom, machine frame is done. And so now we just need 2 Constantan gears, 1 redstone flux coil, and 1 block of iron. That seems very doable. So 1 block of iron is going to be 5 iron here. That's going to get us 10 ingots worth. So we'll just drop all those into there, and for now turn that off. Constantan wise, I don't know if we have 8 Constantan left over in this drawer. We don't, so we are going to have to make a little bit more here. That is fine. If we take 2 copper chunks and 2 nickel chunks, that should get us 8 Constantan in the smeltery. So we'll just do that and pull those out in gear form. And then from there, we just need 1 more redstone flux coil, which is 1 more red alloy ingot. And again, I think I did see a red alloy ingot in here. I did indeed. So we'll do that with a gold chunk. And that should be pretty much everything, chat. I really don't think it's going to be too difficult for us to make this servo here. Boom. And boom, we have a multi-servo press. Nice. And this guy comes with a couple of benefits, of course, because now, going forward, we can use this to make any gear. If we get a gear working die, which is an Electrum gear and then 4 invar plates, we are going to have to get one of these to make the diamond gear, by the way. But once we have that, we can make all of our gears going forward in the multi-servo press. So for now, we'll throw it down right next to the induction smelter over here. But instead of having to melt down, for example, 4 Constantan or 4 bronze into the smeltery and then pull it out, we could instead just put 4 bronze directly into here with the gear press, and it would make 4 gears. By default, it doesn't make gears, by the way. It makes plates, I think. Yeah, which is also pretty useful because, again, going forward now, if we wanted to make iron plates, we don't have to melt the iron down first. We can just put it into the multi-servo press and we should be good to go. For now, though, we are still going to have to use the smeltery, or we might as well use the smeltery, because what we need to make here are Electrum Plates. So we'll take 2 gold and 2 silver. In fact, I think 1 gold and 1 silver will do, right? Boom. And boom, that's going to get us 4 Electrum. And we do need 4 Electrum to make the 1 gear there. That is fine. We then need 4 Invar. Now, again, I don't think we have any Invar at all. If we do, we have very little. And so I think, once again, we should grab, I think it's 1 nickel and 2 iron. That gets you 3 Invar. And because these double, we're going to get 6 Invar, which is actually perfect because we only need 4 plates. So I'll drop those in as well. Boom and boom. Let's pull that out in gear form. And we're just going to pull 4 of these out in plate form. And then the last 2 out in ingot form. So there is 4 Invar plates and 1 Electrum gear. I'm happy to let the remaining Invar there pull out in plate form. That is fine. I'm sure we'll need some more Invar plates at some point in the future. But boom and boom, we have a gear working die. And so now, once again, back over here, we can drop you in. And at this point, we're ready for the diamond gear, right? So let's quickly grab 2 stacks of coal. 1 and 2. We'll drop those into the multi-servo press here. And there we go. Not too long later, we now have 4 diamonds. And so if we put those back in with the gear working die, like so, that should get us the diamond gear that we need to make the redstone servo. And so all we're missing now is 4 more red alloy ingots and 4 iron. And then for the mesh itself, we also need 16 of these. So we need to get 16 more red alloy ingots, which is quite the price because we also therefore need a stack of redstone as well as 16 iron and 16 copper. That's all doable. In fact, I think we probably have a stack of redstone ready to go. Yeah, we do, which is good. Copper and iron wise, we've got 1 iron there and we've got 59 copper there. So we can take out the 16 copper, that's fine. Let's get 8 of these iron chunks. Those are going to double to 16 ingots, of course, in the smeltery. So we'll drop you in over there, and we can even go ahead and turn on the ingot cast there to pull those out as soon as they are done. At that point, It's just the gold required to pull over the ingots and the time it takes to make them, which is going to take us a little while because I'm fairly certain that making those red alloy ingots, whilst not too difficult, is fairly slow. Some might even go so far as to say painfully slow. Quick little side tangent. We have apples. 4 of them, in fact. So real quick, I'm just going to lock that drawer there. So now, going forward, we should always have apples, and whenever we need food, we can just take those apples out, drop them in the furnace, and we're going to have a consistent supply of cooked apples that should keep us fed for at least a good deal of the pack. So my calculations were wrong on this here because you do get 2 red alloys at a time, so we actually didn't quite need this much copper and iron, but as always, having extra copper and iron, not going to be a problem for us. I think this should be the last one that we need here, because we need 4 for the multi-servo press, and then the other 16 are going to be made into coils. So we'll take these out. We'll take you. If we're going to make 16 of these, does each one require 2 ingots of gold? It does, yeah. So basically, we need to take 16 of these, along with 16 gold chunks. Each one, of course, is going to double up in the smeltery. And yeah, then we should be good to go. I think if we snag a hopper as well, we can probably automate this fairly easily. So if we just do something like this and then put the remaining 15 red alloy ingots in there, that should be automated. The gold should be automatically pulled out because of the lever, and the ingots should be automatically pumped in using the hopper. So I guess while we wait for this, do we have any lava? We don't, which is to be expected. I think we're fully out of diorite at the moment. So I think what we should do is quickly grab, let's say 9 granite here, crush that down into crushed granite using our trusty hammer. From there, we can then compress that up. And if we go drop that in the crucible, that's going to get us a bucket of lava. And in fact, we might want to get a few of these because, of course, what we're going to want to do now is take a piece of obsidian, put that beneath a stone barrel. The bronze pickaxe, by the way, does have a mining level of diamond. You can see it's right near the top of the screen there, which means it should be able to break this obsidian, albeit maybe somewhat slowly, which is good. It means we can pick that up in a minute should we need to. And then, do we have a spare barrel of the stone variety lying around? It would seem that the answer to that question is no. No worry, we can make a new one nice and easily. 1 slab and 6 smooth stone. Beautiful. So if we put this here, now if we put lava into there, is that going to turn into witch water? It will. From there, we can turn some compressed red sand. Oh no, we can turn some regular sand? Regular sand, or regular red sand, I guess, into soul sand, and then we can turn the soul sand via the same method into soul soil. So all we need to do is grab one of our buckets. We could definitely do with a unlimited source of water somewhere in the base. For now, I guess we can just go and grab it out of the sea. I'm a fool, chat. It's called witch water, and usually, again, the way you make witch water is with regular water. However, in this pack, it is made with lava. That's why I just made the lava over in the crucible. So I think it is probably about time that we invested in a real bucket. Because, of course, if we continue to use our clay bucket here, or our ceramic bucket, it's going to break every time we try and move lava. So instead, let's take a regular bucket. Let's go and, I think for now we're going to have to steal a bucket of lava out of here. But if we take that and drop it in this new stone barrel, that should, slowly but surely, begin transforming into witch water. It is perfect. Over here, how are we doing? Do we have all of the coils? We do. Beautiful. So 16 coils, 1 diamond gear, which we're going to craft up, of course, into the redstone servo, which needs 4 iron ingots. And I think at that point, we are good to go. We are. Nice. So let's quickly steal the iron mesh as well, which is hiding in there, somewhat invisible. Back over here, we just need to drop all 3 of those into the induction smelter. 1, 2, and 3. And again, slowly but surely, that should, hopefully, maybe I have to do it like this. Maybe it's just actually painfully slow. 1 diamond mesh. Nice. So now, if we can get some netherrack and crush it, we can finally begin sifting that to get nether quartz. So let's throw you in over here. I also think we might be getting more things from our overworld matter now. Yeah, now we can actually sift overworld matter to have a 5% chance of getting diamonds, which is super nice. It does also appear that more has been added here as well, like zinc and uranium, which is good to see. The odds of getting things like iron are still the same, but there is now more stuff we can get from this overworld matter, and presumably the same is true if we sift the compressed overworld matter as well in the old heavy sieve. So these quests are all done. Let's go ahead and claim those. I don't want emergency items. I want my sea books. And yeah, let's have a look. How are we doing over here? We have witch water. So let's grab a sand and drop that in. Perfect. That gets us a soul sand. And now we need to do the same thing again. This time turning our soul sand into soul soil. And at that point, we should then be able to begin producing netherrack if we get just one more block breaker, I think. So we'll drop you in there. Let me take a look again here. Netherrack. What do we need? We need, yeah, just lava. Oh, and of course, the blue ice. Yes. So over here, we've got a ton of ice. Way more than the 81 that we need here. So all we have to do, craft that up. We need specifically 9. Once we have 9 packed ice, we can craft that into 1 singular blue ice. Nice. And then, yeah, as soon as we have the soul soil, which should be pretty much done over in here, just have to add the soul sand. Beautiful. Now we just need 1 bucket of lava. Now, I'm not too sure how this is actually supposed to work, because up on the surface, which I guess is where we're going to do this, right, with all the rest of the systems. And in fact, we probably don't even need the extra thing of lava because we already have, I guess, 1 spare slot. This can work, but I'm going to have to reorganize things, I think. I'm going to have to move this water over to here, then rotate this. Oh, maybe we don't need to move the water. We need to make 1 more block breaker. We need to rotate this block breaker to break this way, and then put down the new block breaker over there, breaking the cobblestone. That's all we have to do. I was a little confused about the way I've set this up. But if we do this, and if we do this, does that make... No. Okay, so maybe we have to move that one over as well. Oh, we need the soul soil, of course. I'm a fool, chat. Yes, thank you for the reminder there. We need soul soil to go down. Over here, we did lose the blue ice there. Thankfully, we have what it takes to make more blue ice. Okay, so blue ice. Let's try this again. Get rid of the wood. And there we go. We have netherrack. Nice. Okay, cool. So my question now is, can I like rotate this? Not with the configurator, right? That is fine. So I guess all we're going to have to do here is break this, change this to points this way. Now we should start breaking netherrack. Again, we can hook it up to the exact same system. We are going to have to get a drawer for netherrack downstairs. So if we just do... Oh, but we are going to have to sleep as well because that is the unmistakable battle cry of the Phantom. Let us... I'm trying to think of what we don't need here. I guess we're going to get rid of one of our ingots. It's a little unfortunate because the wall here is currently kind of nicely set up. We probably don't need a drawer dedicated to Electrum just yet. We don't really have that much of it. Like I say, it's unfortunate because right now, all of our blocks are kind of nice and neatly over on this side of the wall. And so I might do some reorganizing between streams to keep the unity. I guess I could have also started a new draw system over here and put netherrack down there. I might also do that at some point between streams. For now, though, let's put you back in there. Let's make sure that we sleep. One quick sleep later. Let's do extract, because right now it's receiving items, which is all we want. And let's change this to blank, like everything else. There we go. And so now that should start getting pulled out, which should hopefully pull out all the trash that's somehow built up in here as well. We don't need any of this. But we should now have automatic netherrack being generated. Oh, it looks like our tiny coal drawer is full. That is... I was going to say fine, but it seems to be a bit of a problem because our inventories are all kind of filling up slowly but surely. But that's going to get extracted out, which is all good. We're making netherrack, which is perfect. We can begin crushing that down and using that to produce nether quartz. All we have to do here is make 1 more block breaker to get our cobblestone back on track, which really should not be too difficult for us here, chat. So boom, that gets us a wooden hopper. And then the crucible should be done smelting over in here. It is indeed. Boom and boom. We got our next block breaker. And we should be able to just drop that down like over here, like that. And that should start breaking. Oh no, of course. I always think you put these down the other way. You don't. They go down like that. And that's going to start breaking the cobblestone again. And all we have to do is, I guess, something like this. Make sure it's set to black. And extract. And there we go. We should once again be producing cobblestone, diorite, andesite, granite, and soul cobble, or whatever that block there is that I keep forgetting the name of. But everything should be back online and should continue to run with the added benefit that, of course, we are now producing netherrack. And real quick, let's have a look. How much netherrack have we generated in the time it took me to make that? We have got 42 netherrack. So if we take this and then quickly crush a bunch of this down, we can then craft that up and into a compressed netherrack, and then presumably we can sift that over here, and we should, chat, finally begin getting things like nether quartz, glowstone, and even things like cobalt as well, which we can use, I believe, to make cobalt ingots, to material that we could use, and actually a pretty good one that we can use to make tool parts. And I'm pretty sure these are some good tool parts as well. Like here, the cobalt pickaxe head has a mining speed of 8 compared to the bronze pickaxe head that we currently have that has a mining speed of 7. So maybe not quite so much better. It's a little bit better. And its durability is higher as well, which is pretty good. But yeah, for sure, we could definitely upgrade our tools to cobalt tools in the future. And like I said, I think what we're going to try and move towards in the next stream is maybe starting with a little bit of refined storage. There's a quest down here for it, and look at that, we have the first quest unlocked here, and in fact, we can probably complete this quest right now. If we take 3 iron and 1 nether quartz, do we have 3 iron? We don't, unfortunately, and I don't think you can use the chunk version of iron either, but I guess if we real quick just throw some iron into there, and then make sure that the ingot cast goes back in, we should be able to combine 3 iron ingots with 1 nether quartz to make our first quartz enriched iron. Next time we can come back, we can look at making machine casings, we can look at making a controller, a crafting grid, and maybe a disk drive, although for now we can hook up the refined storage system to our drawer network and use kind of the storage drawers as our way of storing things for now, just because it's cheaper. So iron and nether quartz, hopefully a little bit faster than the the diamond mesh. It definitely is faster than the diamond mesh, although it is still fairly slow. We can upgrade the induction smelter to be faster using these integral components here. So I think these are the different tiers. We start with the hardened, then move up to reinforced, and then resonant is the highest tier. The integral component is not too difficult. 4 invar, 1 gold gear, 2 glass, and 2 redstone. This improves the base attributes of any machine from thermal expansion. Other augments may be more effective as a result. You'll see it says type upgrade scale factor 2x. So we could make this and then apply it to our induction smelter. I believe by default that would make it a bit faster. And then from there are also augments that you can make that also increase the speed as well. If we go to at thermal here, I'm pretty sure these are the augments that it's talking about. Things like flux efficiency. Obviously we can't make the creative one, but stabilized RF coil increases the RF capacity of a machine. What else do we have? The Flux Linkage Amplifier is maybe the one we'd want. Increases processing speed, but reduces RF efficiency. So this one's going to increase the speed at which a machine works, but at the same time, it's also going to increase the amount of RF used per operation. So this could be something we could look at making. Again, 2 Electrum, 2 lead gears, and 1 redstone flux coil. That doesn't seem too bad. We could definitely make one of those and try and make this guy faster for the future, but that is the quest complete for quartz enriched iron. And as I mentioned, next time we'll come back and we'll start working, hopefully, on a little bit of refined storage, hopefully meaning that we can get rid of all of these chests sooner rather than later and really start to get our storage situation under control. But for now, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the Seaopolis portion of today's stream there.